Aloha, it's Katie, and I did not forget to do this video. I'm finally going to reveal all my stats, extracurriculars, essays, what I did in high school, and basically how I got into the colleges that I got into. If you're new to my channel, just to recap, I'm an incoming freshman at college. Which college, if you want to know, just click the top right eye. I just went through the whole college application process, applying to some of the world's most challenging colleges with some of the lowest acceptance rates. I got accepted to Cornell University, UC Berkeley, UCLA, USC, and I also got waitlisted and deferred at Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Columbia, Penn, but you know, those didn't work out. Still, I felt this was long overdue because I've done a lot of college videos. You've grown with me and seen me go through rejection, acceptance, making a decision, so I'm finally going to tell you a bit more about myself. Also, if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Alohana, which is what we call our family of subscribers. You should subscribe down below and join. I upload new videos twice a week this summer or more. I'm kind of ambitious right now. And also turn my notifications on so you get notified every time I upload a new video. I still have some IB tips videos coming. Don't worry, I will do that. And also a lot of other high school videos to do. If you haven't seen my how to get into the Ivy Leagues videos where I interview some of my super talented friends, then, well, first, you should to hear their amazing stories. Secondly, I will just be following that format where I talk you through my app as a whole. But yeah, let's get started with the video. Okay, so the first thing I have to say is that I did the IB Diploma program. Some of you may know AP, A-levels, but I did the IB Diploma program, and what that is a 2-year program that you do for the last 2 years of high school, so junior, senior year. You have to take 6 classes, 3 standard level, 3 higher levels, while fulfilling other requirements like the theory of knowledge class, do an extended essay, which is a 4,000 word essay on one of our subject choices or that we want to research on. Then we also have to do something called CAS, which stands for Creativity, Action, and Service. Basically, you have to fulfill a certain number of hours or experiences to make sure you are a holistic student. I have never taken AP, but I get a few comments asking about what the difference between IB versus AP is. And though I did not take it, so just a huge disclaimer, my friend told me that the IB diploma program is more challenging than AP classes. They said it was because, one, AP advanced placement, you study for a specific subject, then you take an exam at the end of it and you get a score out of 5. Whereas in IB, our classes, we take 3 exams, like 2 to 3 exams at the end of 2 years. We do different papers, which are short responses and long responses and essays. Also, our grade is determined not just by our final exam result, it's also determined by oral commentaries that we have to do, written tasks, internal assessments. These are marked separately, so there are different ways that we are tested on the content. So for example, in economics, we take 3 different exams. I don't remember. We have to write 4 essays. For that first paper in econ, we have to write 2 for microeconomics and 2 for macroeconomics. For our second paper, we get a data response. So we're given an article and we have to connect it to our other topics and analyze the text and answer questions about it. Third paper is quant. So we have to do mathematical calculations. Aside from the exams, we also had to do 3 to 4 internal assessments where we had to choose a real life situation, get an article about it, and then analyze it from an economic standpoint while memorizing 100 graphs. I did hear though that AP classes are viewed as more difficult than IB SL, like standard level classes, but they are not as challenging as IB higher level courses. Again, I don't know much about AP, but then again, at the end of the day, I think it depends how many AP classes you take, because if you take a lot of AP classes and study super hard for them, it could totally be comparable to the IB workload. So now that we've established that, I can explain stats. We were graded on the IB scale. The IB scale is out of 7. So if the high score in AP is 5, the high score you can get on a class is a 7. For the final IB exam, what happens is you total up your grades for all your 6 classes, plus an additional 3 points based on your extended essay and your theory of knowledge points. The highest score you can get would be then 6 times 7, 42, plus 3 equals 45. For my stats, I was predicted a 45, yeah, and that was submitted to colleges. You can click the top right eye if you want to see what I actually got on the IB. I got my results back already. I don't know my high school GPA, I only know my GPA for junior and senior year because that's what we are told colleges look more at, the final years that you do in the IB diploma. So when I applied early, I had a 7.0 GPA, so that's the highest GPA you can get. But for my regular decision schools, I got a 6 in one of my classes, so I ended up with a 6.9 something GPA, but I still ended up becoming valedictorian. I can talk more about that in another video and my whole study journey because that is something dear to me. My ACT was a 33, which is arguably one of the weakest components of my app stat-wise. The ACT I submitted, I took in December. I was just thankful because I was taking the SAT before that, and to be honest, I was not very focused on standardized testing. Like whenever I was practicing, I was always thinking I could be making a video, I could be doing something else because I'm also involved in a lot of extracurriculars, which I'll talk more about that later. I was glad I was able to just take the ACT at least once, and 33 was in the range of scores for the schools I applied to. I wouldn't say it was a strength on my application, but I think it was enough to get me into that pool of candidates to be considered. If you do want to know how to get a 34 or above on the ACT, you should click that video where I interview my friends who've gotten 35s and really high scores on the ACTs. They know what they're doing. I got what I worked for. For my SAT subject tests, I got an 800 on Math 2 and then a 710 for Chem. Yeah, Chem honestly didn't really matter. I showed no interest in pursuing Chem in college, so that was just because some schools were requiring 2 subject tests, so I just took it and I submitted it. Okay, now for extracurriculars. I was involved in a lot in school. Looking back, I can't believe I actually managed all of this. First thing, in all my 4 years of high school, I played for the varsity volleyball and badminton team. Except freshman year for volleyball, I couldn't try out because my studies were really bad and my parents didn't allow me, and that's the study journey I would tell you about. I had training 4 times a week, and then I had local tournaments on the weekends, and I would have 2 overseas tournaments for these sports too. I was also team captain for varsity badminton for 3 years, and I also played the highest division singles 1 for all 4 years since freshman year. I was the president of the National Honor Society in my senior year, visual arts club president senior year, Chinese cultural club president junior year. I was also the media director for Battle of the Bands, which is our school's biggest student-run music event. But before that, I worked my way up, in freshman year from the public relations officer to the vice president to eventually the president. Just a brief mention of what we did. For National Honor Society, we had a service partner, Operation Smile, and this year we were able to raise, I don't know if you know Philippine pesos, but we were able to raise over 630,000 pesos to fund 42 surgeries for children with cleft palate and cleft lips, which needed free surgeries. It was awesome because we were able to fund a whole mission. For Visual Arts Club, I was involved in this since my freshman year when I was a budding graphic designer. We would have a lot of opportunities for artists. I started our first art show. I also started a graphic design team because a lot of clubs, sports teams, teachers wanted posters, designs, but could not find a way to get them. So the graphic design team was able to connect all of these needs with the talents. We also did bake sales, punny card sales, and we're just the go-to art club for any artistic needs. For Chinese Cultural Club, we just had a lot of traditional bake sales. Everyone loved our milk tea sales, our Chinese food during Chinese festivals like Chinese New Year. We also had a tutoring program for middle school students because a lot of them wanted tutoring and needed help, and then we just expanded that tutoring program. Battle of the Bands made me realize how much I liked organizing and promoting things. I would oversee the social media posts, and we would get legit sponsorships from brands like McDonald's, Abercrombie & Fitch, along those lines. I would also oversee all of the film, videos, the live stream, the graphic design, posters, all that good stuff. Speaking of graphic design, that's also something I mentioned in my app because I would get a lot of requests to do uniforms or shirts for sports teams, logos for clubs, posters for organizations. I was like one of the go-to graphic designers at school, and on the side I also had a phone case collection with Good Vibe cases and Paragon pieces, which was an awesome project. Some of you will know it. I have a portfolio that I also submitted in my additional information section. I know I designed at least 110 designs in total. In the beginning of high school, I was also involved in music. Aside from the 6 classes that IB required, I also auditioned for show choir, which was our highest audition-based choir, and when I got accepted to that, I would do 5 to 6 concerts, so a lot of preparation. Junior year, I also joined Battle of the Bands as a vocalist group with my friends. Raya was part of it, you'll know her, and it was just an awesome group. We did a lot of harmonies, then we ended up making it to the finals and performing in our school assembly. We got People's Choice Award. I think also then I'd also upload covers that I would compose on my Instagram and YouTube. I would accompany it with piano, ukulele, or guitar, harmonies. My YouTube one honestly was more than being a professionally edited video. I uploaded that video because it was more a statement to me. Singing publicly was one of my biggest fears for a while, and just to put myself out there, knowing that I was not a professional and I just loved doing it was a big thing for me. A real confidence boost no matter the criticism. I also did film, so when I eventually quit show choir after my freshman year, my sophomore year I took an extra film class class. In that film class, one of the films I edited made it to our school's film festival. My friend and I also joined a overseas film exchange. The winner would have their film sent to all over the schools, and the film my friend and I made won runner-up. Most importantly, one of the most important things in my life I did outside of school, my YouTube channel. I tried to upload every week. It turned out to be more, twice a month on tough months in senior year, especially during college apps when I was very silent. But right now I'm finally revealing and talking about all of it. My YouTube channel has changed me so much. My biggest times of growth, I would say, were these last 4 years in high school, and coincidentally not, they were also the times that I had my YouTube channel. I was a one-man team, filming all my videos, editing all of them, having to plan them. Making a video would take about 8 hours. But the thing is, I loved it so much, and I think what was important with all of the things that I did was that I actually loved it. I truly believed that it helped me in one way, and I was learning, and I loved that. So it didn't feel like work. I wanted to give my best in them. That's also probably how I managed to get the leadership positions I did. For my award section, prior to my junior year, I'd never gotten any award in school and never been recognized like that. So I was very surprised junior year when I got the Harvard Prize Book Award, Computer Science Department Award, Chinese Department Award. These are specific awards per department that are only given to one student. I also got an English Literature Certificate of Merit, the Exemplary Student Award. Oh, actually, I did get one award. In my freshman year, I had a geography certificate. My teacher Rex, of course, I would like to think my teacher Rex wrote good things about me. I chose my English teacher who I love dearly. She was also my advisor for National Honor Society, and she just kept me so sane in my junior year, and then she left. But we kept in touch. Love her so much. A lot of the times people advise you to choose your English teacher because they can communicate things more effectively because they're English teachers. You can follow that, but I think it's also equally important to choose people who really know you and can showcase you as a whole and not just academically, because your grades do that for you. Computer science teacher, I asked him because I wanted to major in computer science. I knew him for 3 years. Before I took that class, I had very limited knowledge of computer science, so he has seen me grown a lot in that field. I also had a counselor Rex. Also love her so much. She understood the pressure I was going through. She supported me every step of the way, and just can't thank her enough. She believed in me so much. So for my essays, for my Common App essay, I chose the first prompt. That was like, some students have an identity, background, or something that's so important to them. I talked about creativity. I realized why I valued these creative outlets so much, and it was because creativity was a place for me where there were no barriers, there were no expectations, no fixed image of success, whereas my upbringing was opposite from that, because the goals were always, you had to get straight A's, you had to do this, you had to swim, you had to do piano, you had to, all those expectations to me felt so rigid and so unlike my free form and where I felt my truest self when I was being creative. I was also able to discover creativity as a platform to build a platform, and that was where computer science came in, because I was into blogging and designing websites, and I was also using Photoshop, and I thought those were already amazing creative tools to fuel my imagination. But when I discovered code, it was like the possibilities became endless. That was an empowering moment for me, and when I realized that power to build something that gave other people the tools to create things, it made me want to do something similar to that, and that became my YouTube channel where you guys can also hopefully find yourself. That's why I try to do inspirational things. I try to help in any way I can. I also had some other supplemental essays, some about stepping up, some about initiation. That was something that I was very passionate about in high school. When you go into a sports team and teammates try to make you do things, it's embarrassing. Interviews, I did 7 interviews for all my colleges. I do think though that in my interviews I was a bit more shy than how I am like in my videos now, but I also hear interviews don't count that much. I think it's more if you say something really horrible in your interview that it can really hurt you, but otherwise I think people are just trying to get a sense of who you are, maybe even pushing you and supporting you to get into that school. So that was it for my application. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Feel free to message me if you have any questions, anything like that. Make sure to subscribe to my channel here, my vlog channel here. This is my college vlog channel. And also click the top right eye to watch more of my videos, more from my College 101 series. I'm still making more, so subscribe. Also follow me on social media at alohakatieg and scan my Snapchat on your right. Best of luck with your college apps. I love you so much. Thank you for watching. Bye guys.